Time now to talk some weather on this Friday afternoon, and let's turn to meteorologist Clay Smith over in the Storm Alert Center. Clay, right now we're looking at those temperatures creep up.
Yeah, that's right, Latrice. We've had kind of a taste of fall to end summer, but we're back at it today. Yesterday we hit 90 on the dot. Today we're already approaching the 90-degree mark for some. Chattanooga 84, 85 in Lafayette, 80 in Athens. Had some clouds up towards Dayton, so temperatures are a little bit cooler, at least for the time being. But most areas are going to be, I'd say, in the low 90s later on this afternoon. So we're going to continue to see those temperatures climbing. Heat index with the humidity rising could be as high as 100. So here's a look at Goose Pond. We've got a lot of people out and about trying to take advantage of post-Labor Day lake action. Again, the lake probably not going to be quite as busy as it was last weekend, but still a great weekend and day to get out on the water. However, we do have some changes coming our way. Here comes a cold front. This is going to bring some cooler air as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Cool nights, warm afternoons. But along this front, as it moves into this area where we have that warm, moist air in place, we're going to start to see some storms firing up. Now, during the daylight hours, I'm not anticipating any showers and storms here locally, barring maybe an isolated pop-up here or there. But for the most part, through Friday night football, I'm talking from 7 all the way to the end of the game, we should be all right here locally. But then tonight, we could have a few storms after 11 p.m. through about 4 a.m. in the morning. That's if that approaching line of storms that will likely develop later today holds together. Now, the highest risk for severe weather going to be for our northwesternmost communities. Sequatchie, Bledsoe, Ray, Meigs, parts of Grundy and Van Buren counties. Slightly lower risk here as we drop it to the south across North Georgia, because that line will likely weaken. Now, this is primarily going to be a damaging wind threat for us, but we can't completely rule out a stray isolated spin-up tornado in the northern part of Bledsoe County across Middle Tennessee. Ingredients for that, again, better the further north and west you go. So it's not something I'm overly concerned about, but we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on what's going on in Middle Tennessee later this evening and track those storms as they move in our area. But like I said, daylight hours through most of Friday night football. Again, 7 o'clock kickoff. Hey, things are looking pretty good. Not seeing anything going on. By the time we start to wrap up those games, we're going to have these showers and storms approaching the Cumberland Plateau around 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And then notice as this line pushes through, it kind of fizzles out a little bit. So how far will it get to the east before it starts to weaken? So I'm thinking, again, it will be strongest as it's moving along the plateau, as it moves into the valley, weakening to some degree. And then we're likely to have another round of rain and storms tomorrow. Not thinking this is going to be too much in the way of severe, but still could have some gusty winds and heavy rain. And that's as the main front finally passes to our east. Behind it, we're finally going to start to dry out. So highest rainfall amounts likely across Middle Tennessee, but I think most of us could pick up, a quick half of an inch to maybe even upwards of an inch or two with some of those localized downpours. So definitely going to have some rain coming our way. So of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the evening. Hannah Sky will be in at 4 through 11. Here's a look at the tropical development that we're watching. About a 90% chance of us having Gabrielle, I would say, by the next couple of days. So that would be our 7th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season. Still a long ways away from any land, especially here in the U.S., but it bears watching, and we'll keep you updated on that. But after today and tonight's storms, things are looking much better. Nice shot of some fall-like weather heading into the end of the weekend, Latrice.